All right, welcome to the Restaurant 911 podcast, where we dive deep into the world of restaurant ownership, sharing insights, strategies, and stories to help you thrive within your industry. I'm your host. My name is Marcus, and today we're going to be talking about a crucial aspect of restaurant ownership, and that is culture. Culture is one of those things. It is absolutely when you walk into a restaurant, you can feel what the culture is. You can feel that it's working cohesively, and it's almost like a dance. Or you walk in and it's like a dumpster fire that's just about to blow. Um, and within the 3P framework, we have what's called the triad. And the triad is really your mission, your core values, and your vision. You see, these are the guiding principles that shape every decision and action within your restaurant. And see, your mission is like your North Star, guiding you towards your ultimate goal. It needs to be clear, it needs to be concise, it needs to be communicated effectively to your team every single day. That's why we preach the daily five sermon, so that your team hears it by repetition, 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 and eventually it sinks in. They download. Because let's face it, your team in your restaurant, outside of your restaurant, is bombarded just like us by messaging and downloads every single day, every waking hour. It used to be that you could go to work and you come home and you have very little influence. But now, with the invention of our phones, now we're inundated with messaging. So we want to make sure that we are communicating very clearly, very concisely what our core values are, what our mission is, and what our vision is. But here's the thing about culture, it's either created by design or by default. You can't afford to let it just happen. It's like that old saying, a broken watch is right twice a day. You see, if you don't actively shape your restaurant's culture, you might get lucky occasionally, but you're more likely to find yourself stuck in mediocrity, because eventually it's going to be like groupthink, one way or the other. And there's one mission, one value, there's one lens to look through that we do all of our work through, or it's going to be the groupthink and tribal knowledge, and basically the all the staff runs the restaurant, and you just eventually succumb to how it is, and you just accept mediocrity. And sadly enough, that's where most restaurants end up. It's not easy. It's not for everyone, but there is a system, there is a framework, there is a way to live like the 1%, the small number of people that literally are working on the restaurant, not in the restaurant. Like, what the hell does that mean? That's one of those flowery things like laptop lifestyle type of stuff. What it means is you're working outside of your restaurant on the vision, more of a global, more of a 30,000-foot view. You're looking at metrics and KPIs and profitability. You're looking at staff development and leadership, and you're seeing how can we do these things cohesively to where the whole entire operation is uplifted. How can we reach out to our neighborhoods, our community? How can we have a bigger impact? You start embracing these bigger ideas, and working less in the restaurant, so not working those 60-80 hour work weeks, but maybe working 20-30 hour work weeks in the restaurant, and the other hours are strategically placed in areas that will help the operation. Your profitability is running from anywhere from 18 to 20, sometimes in 22%, based on what your business model is. It's possible. It's possible to take multiple vacations every single year. It's possible to grow your one location to multiple units, to have a general manager in each store and then have a director of operations that oversees that. It's possible. You just got to believe it. And one of the other things that we have within the TRC method is something called the outstanding mindset. And that it really that's what starts, because culture is something that goes from top down, not bottom up. And so it starts with you. You're the owner, you're the leader, and you've got to be in a position to be able to you got to be in a position to be able to set that vision, forecast it, and communicate it clearly. So, what's a leader to do? You have to make a choice. You can either go in and accept mediocrity, or you can draw a line in the sand and embrace change. This is where your core values come into play. They act as your compass, guiding you and your team towards excellence. But it's not just about having core values, it's about living them every day. Your culture is a thinking pattern, a collective mindset that changes people, and it creates the accountability and ensures that everyone is working towards that common goal. It ensures your team that is your they're aligned with your core values, and you establish those non-negotiable standards that are directly linked to those core values. All right, so sum it up. Your mission sets the course, your core values provide the direction, and your vision paints the picture of where you're headed. But it's up to you as the leader to cultivate a culture of excellence, one that is intentional, it's purposeful, and it's unwavering in its commitment to greatness. Now, I'm going to show you one thing, and then I'm going to jump off here. So let me pull this up on my screen. Those of you that are watching this or listening to this on a podcast station with no video, you can go over to my YouTube channel, the Restaurant 911, and you can look at the video and see what I'm putting up on the screen. So let me jump over here. There we go. All right, so we call this the culture wheel. This is going to have everything that you need in order to make sure that you're setting up your culture, the underlying, that the non-tangible stuff in your restaurant for success. Starting with the triad. Like I said, that is the triad is that three prong: your mission, your core values, and your vision. Then strength-based hiring. Are you just hiring and doing interviews based on demand and based on experience? Johnny's got 3 years as a line cook. I need a line cook. He's available Friday nights. I need Friday nights. Great, you're hired. Or are you looking into what's this person's personality? When I put that personality in on this cook's line, are they going to gel together? What's the chemistry like? Next one is communication. How do you communicate? You've heard me say it before. Patrick Lencioni says, if your team can't do a good impersonation of you, you're not talking enough. Next one, standards and expectations. You've got to have them. And you might have lost them along the way. Well, you can't change the past. We're not in tomorrow. Right now, you have right now. Make a decision here first, and then draw that line in the sand. Write down what my standards and expectations are. Next one, which follows right in line, is you got to have personal accountability. You can't have standards and expectations that you're not personally accountable to yourself. The team will follow you based on your ability to uphold what you're asking them to do. Growth. There's got to be a theme, a feeling of growth amongst the entire staff, that you are trying to personally develop yourself. You're trying to learn more about your industry, about your business, and you're trying to share it with others. We want it to be a teaching culture, not just a training culture. I'll talk more about that on another episode. Appreciation, such that when anyone's doing something for someone, there's a natural, hey, Johnny, I really appreciate you doing that. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate, man, that energy coming back and forth is going to be huge. And that's one of those non-tangibles. When you walk in a restaurant, you can feel something. You can see how the staff is uplifted, their eyes, their smile. It's a tangible energy that you can feel. And then trust, respect, connection. Now, all of these kind of go in line, because If you're doing everything that we're talking about, then I'm going to trust you to do your job right, because I know you want to and you're making effort to, and they in turn are going to trust you as their leader. And then authentic leadership, you care about the whole team. You care about the customer's experience. You're not trying to lead with an iron fist, but you're trying to grow, develop, and motivate people, and people are naturally just going to be magnetized to that. And then you find the right pressure. Now we can have everything behind us and done it just right, but if we're a pushover and we're just really nice and people like us, but we're not really trying to push for excellence, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. Going back to what are those standards and expectations? Now we got to have the right pressure to meet those standards and expectations, and they should be higher than what's, kind of what we consider reasonable. Now, it doesn't need to be impossible, in a radical way, a militant way, because that can create a whole nother culture, and usually that's felt. It becomes stuffy. It becomes very parochial, and it's just like that's when you're like, oh, we're in that hoity-toity fine dining restaurant. It's kind of okay. Everyone just stay really quiet, keep your hands in your lap, and make sure you know use the right fork and the right spoon on the right course, or else you might be asked to leave. You don't want that type of restaurant. You want it so that you're pushing for excellence, and the guests can feel it and they can appreciate everything. So that's the culture wheel. I appreciate you being here on the podcast. I appreciate that you are listening to this, that you're trying to accept the fact that maybe you don't have the culture that you want. I want to help you. And if any of this, any component of this has resonated with you, reach out to me, go into my bio, click on the link, jump on a calendar request, and we'll jump on a call for 30 minutes. No obligation. And I will walk you through a series of questions to see exactly how I could help you. And I guarantee, leaving the conversation, you'll be able to apply several things immediately that'll improve your restaurant. And at that point, if you feel like we're a fit and I can help you more, then we can talk about what the next steps look like. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.